Good evening. After 12 years, Bela Lugosi finally put on the flat top for Frankenstein meets the Wolfman. But that was not the first movie that we watched tonight. The first movie was Frankenstein and the Creature from Hell. And that was interesting. The Peter Cushing Frankenstein series is, based on two movies, is pretty different than the Frankenstein in the book and the Frankenstein from the Universal movies. He seems to just, at least, and again, this is just from two movies, his trajectory seems to be toward worse and not toward better. In the book, he learns his lesson early on and he suffers for the rest of the book. But whatever happens between the Curse of Frankenstein and the Creature from Hell, he does not learn his lesson and he doubles down. And in this version, he is doing the same thing, but he has an excited young apprentice type person. I forget the name of that character, but that's the character we enter the story with, and he is imitating Frankenstein's work, and then he gets caught, and he tracks down the actual Frankenstein who is in hiding in plain sight. Interesting movie. And we also watched a couple of Treehouse of Horrors, and what else? And the David S. Pumpkins skit from Saturday Night Live. Yeah, I think that's it. So then getting finally to the first of the Monster Meets Monster movies in the series, the first that I've seen, and I suppose it made sense ultimately, but it requires ignoring a lot of stuff. The premise is that the Wolfman, even though he died and was buried 4 years before the story begins, is actually still alive and can't die. And so he goes in search of Dr. Frankenstein to fix him so that he can die. And the monster, it has already been established, the monster also cannot die, which I don't think is part of the novel. So these two characters who are repeatedly killed, well, I guess the Wolfman was only killed the once, they can't die. And they go in search of Dr. Frankenstein, which in this case is Dr. Ludwig Frankenstein, the most recent Frankenstein. I think he was in The Ghost of Frankenstein. He was the brother. He's the son of Henry Frankenstein, who is really Victor Frankenstein, the original Frankenstein. He's the son of that Frankenstein and the brother of the son of Frankenstein from the movie Son of Frankenstein, Wolf Frankenstein. And he has a daughter, Ludwig has a daughter, Elsa. And Elsa is in this movie, but she is not played by Evelyn Ackers, I think is the one who played her in Ghost of Frankenstein. She's played by Ilona Massey, who was in Invisible Agent. And here's an interesting thing about this one. I think it's the first of these movies to not have even, maybe there was the barest hint of a love story, but it wasn't a big deal. Elsa didn't seem to fall in love with Larry Talbot, the Wolfman, or the doctor whose first name was Frank, but whose last name was not Frankenstein, who ultimately is asked to do the things that they were searching for Dr. Frankenstein to do, both for both the monster and the Wolfman. So that was nice. She actually had a significant role to play in helping move things along in the plot, as did Maliva. I think that's how the character's name is pronounced. Now I'll try the actress. Maria Uspenskaya, the actor who played Maliva. The gypsy woman from The Wolfman is also in this movie, and she also helps move the plot along, I think more even than she does in the original Wolfman. So two female characters who actually are more than arm candy for the handsome gentleman at the center of the story. Now, the last actor to play the monster was Lon Chaney Jr., but Lon Chaney Jr. is the Wolfman. That's his. He took over the monster from Boris Karloff, but he's the Wolfman. That's his character. So he played the Wolfman in this movie, and as I mentioned, Bela Lugosi finally, after turning down the role in 1931, said yes to the head. And in the last movie, because Bela Lugosi's character's brain was transferred into the monster's head, the monster started speaking with Bela Lugosi's voice, even though it continued to be played by Lon Chaney Jr. But in this movie, the monster is once again mute. And at this point, I don't care because it's not Boris Karloff's voice anymore that we're missing out on. So they can do whatever. But it does takes quite a bit of agency away from the monster. It kind of made sense as a, in as much as it could, as a sequel to The Wolfman, if they're making up the werewolf lore as they go along. I mean, they took up the basic idea of werewolf and then they expanded it for The Wolfman and wrote that ancient poem about becoming a wolf for the original Wolfman movie. So they can do whatever they want with the character and with the magic. It is magic, so it can do whatever they want, but it kind of eliminates the stakes from the previous movie, just like it eliminates the stakes from if the monster had a new brain and was able to speak at the end of the last movie, and now in this movie he cannot speak again, then why was there the last movie? They are connected because Ludwig is the father of Elsa, who is in this movie, but they can do whatever they want. It's magic and science fiction. Trying to think what else. It's another movie where in Frankenstein and the Creature from Hell, the angry mob finally does what they never could in the Universal movies, which is they kill the monster at the center. And the monster at the center is not the original Frankenstein monster, it's a different one, but still they accomplish what angry mobs have been trying to do to monsters for many years, and maybe by the end of the Universal movies they do it as well. Movies have since the beginning, movies have been telling us that angry mobs don't really understand what they're going after, and if they did understand it, they probably would show more understanding and not attack it as an angry mob. So I don't know why people continue to join angry mobs, which is again different than peaceful protest. Peaceful protest is like a nice march, like a dignified march, but then angry mobs, they're a different story. And movies have been telling us to watch out for angry mobs. Because when we see angry mobs, no matter what the monster in the movie has done, we always feel sorry for the monster. So there's that element, and there are more angry mobs in Frankenstein and the Wolfman because there's twice the monster, and therefore the mobs are twice as angry. I look forward to more of these because it made, to the extent again that it could, it made more sense than I expected it to. And I remember when I was first getting into these movies and I had the option, the Monster Meets a Monster movies would be on TV and I would have the option of seeing them, and I really wasn't interested because I knew that they were just, they felt like probably what they were, cheap ploys to wring more out of the property. But now I am curious, so just goes to show when you give things a chance, you might find that you're more interested and they are better than you thought. Tomorrow is going to be an exciting day. We've been planning to have a day of Phantom of the Opera movies for a couple of years, and tomorrow we're finally going to do it. And I will probably, I don't know how long the video will be tomorrow because I'll probably have more to say than usual, but for tonight, have a lovely midnight.